Well, good morning, Rovers. An absolutely beautiful sunrise for my first full day at sea. The wind is blowing from the southwest at 14 to 15 knots. The air temperature it's balmy, actually. I'm going to have to take a layer off pretty soon. It's nice and warm. I believe we are in the Gulf Stream right now, or just at the edge of it. We're not really getting a lot of effect, but we are getting that warm air. I'll just show you what the seas look like. They're pretty cool. Well, here's a little navigation update. So yesterday when we left the Norfolk area, we did so around 9:30 in the morning. It's now 9:40, 24 hours later, and we've covered 112 miles. So I think we're pretty safe to say we covered pretty much 110, 112 miles in 24 hours. We're heading east-northeast. And we're in the deep water. This line right here, this represents an area that is over 2,000 meters deep, and this area to the left of this line, it's called the Norfolk Canyon, and this area is 70 meters deep. So it takes a really abrupt drop off, and there were lots of fishing boats right in that area last night that I had to avoid. So yeah, we're enjoying 14 knots. We're on a broad reach, almost a run, and I have one panel in, and I'll show you that right away. Well, the winds have increased only a couple of knots, but the seas have increased quite a bit. Let's go up and take a look. So the wind is 16. It was 14 earlier this morning, so a couple of knots, but it has made quite a difference. We're getting a lot more spray over the side, and A lot more white caps, but I suspect that has more to do with the wave height. Let's see. Because of course the camera has a hard time picking it up, but these waves, they're about 4 feet now. And earlier this morning I would have pegged them closer to 3 feet. And as a result, we've taken in one more panel. We were at full sail just a few minutes ago. So that's the beauty of the junk rig. It takes no time at all to put a reef in, hence you put a reef in. That is spray right up on the panel of the wind vane. Well, Rovers, I am just up from my afternoon nap. I have the whole ocean to myself. There's absolutely nobody out there for as far as AIS can see. The conditions are about 16 knots. The seas are about 4 feet. They've been building, but it's still a very comfortable ride. Wave Rover is handling these conditions really well. In fact, we're in the Gulf Stream, and I'm going to show you the chart right away, but we're in the Gulf Stream and we're getting a really powerful boost because the Gulf Stream is adding about 3 knots or more to the speed of the boat. Now, we're not exactly going with the Gulf Stream. We're crossing it on a diagonal because we're hoping to stay in it for a long time as it curves more to the east. So we're going to see if we can ride that. I'll just give you a quick look of what the inside of the boat looks like right now. And my little cooler has been great because one of the neighbors at the place I was staying in, Virginia Beach, he cooked a porterhouse steak, a really nice one, wrapped it up and gave it to me, and that's what I had today. It was fantastic. I also have some ground beef in there, so I'll be at least 3 days into this voyage having fresh meat still. And then of course the bottles that I froze with the water, in fact, let me just show you what I'm talking about. So I just got these big bottles, filled them with water, and froze the water so it doesn't make a mess inside the cooler then. And then when I get somewhere else, I can just send these ashore and maybe some kind rover person can stick them in their freezer to freeze, and I'm off again. Right, let's take a look at the chart. So there's the chart. Let's see if you can see it better. Try to get the light off of it. So if you look at the top left-hand corner, you'll see the speed. So, you know, we're anywhere from, well, we're averaging over 7 knots. And I've seen it as high as 10, and it drops down sometimes to 5. And we're heading in this direction right here, the red cursor, you can see that it's heading sort of northeast. And that's the way the Gulf Stream is going right now. It's coming up north and it's curving like my index finger. So we're going to try to ride that. It'll be good for the next maybe 36 hours. Well, I should consider making a bite to eat before it gets dark. This was something else I had picked up in the United States. It's just a long extension cord, really. You can see it goes down, and I have it plugged into, I can either plug it into my phone or my tablet, and then when I'm in my bunk I can have them right beside me and they're staying fully powered, and I can see either navionics, and then I keep my collision avoidance software on the tablet, which is Vesper AIS. Oh, message just coming in. So all those years ago, freedom and independence were the reasons why I took up sailing in the first place. So independence is pretty obvious. You're on a boat and everything you need is on that boat. So there's where the independence, or at least in my mind, that was independence. Of course, you still have to purchase items, but you'll find that you won't purchase near what a household would have, nor just someone living in an apartment. The convenience of everything means that you spend and you're a consumer. But when you're on a boat, and all those years ago, when I set sail on my first boat, it was all about independence, having everything that I need on board. And it was also very freeing because everything I owned was on that boat. I had all my tools, and I had all my clothes and a small amount of money. Not a lot. By the time I had finished building that boat, I probably only had enough money to, if I landed somewhere, to live for maybe 2 months. But that wasn't a real problem because the independence I'm talking about also includes whatever skills or talents that you might have in order to earn a living. And as a carpenter, I was very confident that when I arrived somewhere, I would be able to earn a living, be able to put together enough cash to keep going and enjoy myself. There was never a shortage for jobs. Whenever I would arrive and I would let people know, or oftentimes they would just figure it out because the boat was my calling card. If you do a good job and you keep your boat neat and tidy, people see that you're, a craftsman. And that provided me with all the employment I really needed on that first voyage. So that was the independence, but the freedom is hard to kind of describe. It's in many ways it's a mental freedom, because when you carry everything you need, you are totally free of any dictates of any government or people that may feel they have a hold on you. You can just hop in your boat and get going. At least it was back then. It was fairly simple just to do that. Now we have border security that's a lot tighter, but you still get the same sense of freedom and independence once you're on the ocean. Right now, Wave Rover is about 170 miles offshore. And it's beautiful. And everything I need is right here on board. All the food I need, the tools I need, And when I arrive, I bring my talent with me. Things have changed in this world, but some things have remained the same. And that idea of independence and freedom is still what drives me in so many of my endeavors, and definitely in my sailing endeavors. Well, Rovers, thus ends another day on the big voyage. Thanks, as always, for watching and forge your own adventure.